The wind howled across the frozen land. Snow flew through the air like sharp glass. The planet was quiet, too quiet. No birds, no voices, no sound, only the storm dot in the middle of that white world. Something moved. A small figure was lying in the snow. It was not human. Its skin was light blue. Its head was large, with two dark eyes full of fear. Tiny arms hugged its knees. The creature was shaking. Its body was weak. Its tears were glowing, soft blue drops falling on the snow. But the tears froze as soon as they touched the ground. The alien child was alone. He had no idea where he was. He only remembered fire in the sky, a loud crash, and then nothing. His mother was gone. He cried again. Not loud. He didn't have the strength. But the pain inside him was heavy. He looked up at the sky, the same sky where their ship once flew. He hoped someone was coming. No one came. The snow got heavier. The cold bit into his skin. His tiny legs could no longer move. He whispered one word, again and again, Mira. Mira. It was the word for mother in his language, but only the wind answered him far away. A scanner beeped inside a human exploration ship flying low over the surface. A man looked at his screen. His name was Eli Ward, a lone explorer from Earth. He was searching for lost tech from old wars, nothing more. But then he saw something strange, a heat signal. Very small, very weak, not machine, not robot. It was alive. Eli narrowed his eyes. That can't be right, he said. He changed course. Back in the snow, the alien child was still lying there. His eyelids were heavy. His mind was fading. He saw light. Or maybe it was just a dream. But no, this time, it was real. A bright light appeared through the thick snow. A large shape moved toward him. The child tried to sit up, but his body refused. He felt warm hands lift him gently from the snow. A strange voice spoke. Hey, what the hell are you? The human man stared at the child in shock. Eli had seen many things on alien worlds. Broken ships, dead machines, old ruins, but never a living alien child. Are you hurt? He asked, though he knew the child couldn't understand. The child just looked into Eli's eyes. His own eyes were wide, full of tears, full of fear, and something else. Trust. Eli wrapped the child in his coat and moved fast toward his ship. Inside the small warm cabin, the child stopped shaking. He lay on a soft blanket. His glowing tears melted. Eli scanned him with his portable medkit. Vitals are low, he said to himself, but alive. He touched the small device on the child's wrist. It blinked with a red light, a signal. Suddenly, the device sent out a ping, a sharp sound that echoed through space. But not all ears were friendly. High above the planet, a dark ship turned toward the signal. Inside that ship, something moved. Not human, not kind. Not safe. The hunters had found the child's location. Back in Eli's ship, the child was slowly breathing better. He sat up and pointed at the stars outside the window. Then he pointed to his chest, and then to the stars. Again. Eli nodded. You got separated from your people, right? The child didn't understand the words, but he nodded anyway. He showed Eli a small picture, drawn on a thin crystal plate. It showed him and a taller alien woman, his mother. Eli took a deep breath. I'll help you, kid, he said. Whatever you are, wherever you're from, you're not alone now. But as Eli looked at the snowstorm outside, he felt uneasy. Something wasn't right. He had a bad feeling, as if someone was watching. Far in the sky, 2 red lights blinked through the clouds. The hunt had begun. Asterisk dark clouds moved like giants. In the sky, the wind was screaming now. Ice hit the side of the ship like angry fists. Inside the small explorer ship, Eli Ward sat in silence. He didn't speak. He didn't move. His eyes were locked on the child, the small, strange child now. Wrapped in a thick blanket, lying on the ship's floor. Steam rose from the boy's skin, melting the last of the snow. His tears no longer froze, but they still glowed faintly in the low light. Eli had seen things in space. Broken moons, silent stations, dying stars. But he had never seen anything like this. A child, alone, in the middle of a dead world, and not just any child, an alien. The boy opened his eyes, slowly. They were black like deep space, but filled with light. Not fear, not anymore. Now. Curiosity. He reached out a small hand and touched Eli's glove. The hand was cold, shaking, but Eli didn't pull away. "You're safe," Eli said, softly, though he knew the child couldn't understand. The boy pointed at Eli's face, then at his own, confused. 2 different worlds. 2 different species? But for a moment, they simply stared at each other. Quiet. Alive. Connected by something old and simple. Trust. Suddenly, a sharp beep came from the console. The boy jumped. Eli turned fast. The scanner flashed red. Something had picked up the child signal. The same signal Eli accidentally activated earlier. He checked the screen. "No way. That's not one of ours." A ship was coming. Fast. And not responding to hails. Not human. Eli's jaw tightened. "They're not here to help you, are they?" The child lowered his eyes. He knew. Eli turned on the ship's shield. Not very strong, but better than nothing. He grabbed a small handheld blaster from the storage wall and looked back at the child. The boy was now sitting up. He took something from around his neck, a crystal pendant. He held it toward Eli. Eli hesitated, then took it. The crystal lit up, showing a tiny hologram. The child with a taller female alien, her hand over his heart, her other hand pointing to the stars. The message was clear. "She's out there?" Eli whispered. "You were trying to find her." The child nodded. Eli felt something heavy in his chest. This wasn't just rescue. It was a mission now. The scanner beeped again, this time louder. They were close. Eli picked up the child and strapped him gently into a seat. Then he powered up the engines, but before he could lift off, everything shook. Boom. A huge shadow passed over the ship. The snow outside flew in every direction. Something had landed. Hard. Eli looked at the screen. The outside camera showed a tall, dark figure, covered in metal armor, with glowing red eyes. Not human. Not friendly. Inside the ship, the lights flickered. Eli whispered, "Get ready to run," mostly to himself. The child held onto the seat with both hands. The camera showed another shape outside, crawling on 4 legs like a spider made of bones. "You've got to be kidding me." Eli powered the ship into hover mode, but before he could fly, a loud thud hit the roof, then another, and another. They were climbing the ship. Eli ran to the back wall and unlocked a secret panel. Inside was a small jet sled, meant for 1, maybe 2. "Hold tight," he told the child. Moments later, the rear hatch burst open. Snow blasted in, and the freezing air bit Eli's skin. He wrapped the child in an extra cloak and placed him in the front of the sled. "Okay, buddy, time to fly." He kicked the engine. The sled shot out into the storm, just as the roof of the ship caved in. One of the creatures fell through, roaring in anger, but they were gone, flying low and fast into the white. For a few minutes, it was only snow and speed. The child clutched Eli tightly. Behind them, red eyes glowed in the storm. Still hunting. The sled slowed near a rock wall. Eli stopped and carried the boy inside a hidden cave, a place he had once used as shelter. He lit a heater. The boy's face was tired, but calm now. They were safe. For now. Eli looked at the child and said quietly, "We'll find your mother." The boy didn't reply, but he reached up and touched Eli's chest, just like the hologram. He smiled. Outside, the cave far on the horizon, the enemy ship opened its doors. More shadows walked into the snow. The hunt wasn't over. It had just begun. The fire crackled softly in the dark cave. Outside, the snowstorm still roared like a wild animal. But inside, there was silence. A warm, careful silence. The alien child slept under a heat blanket, small chest rising and falling. His glowing skin now dim, calm. Safe. Eli sat a few feet away, holding the child's crystal pendant. The small device flickered with light, but it was more than just jewelry. It held memories. Maybe even secrets. The storm had buried the ship behind them. The enemy was still out there. But for this moment, time stood still. Eli stared into the fire, his mind full of questions. Who are you, Cade? He whispered. The fire didn't answer, but the pendant did. A soft click came from the crystal. Eli looked down, surprised at it. Activated by itself. A soft blue beam projected upward. Not just a picture this time. A map. Tiny stars floated in the air. One was blinking red. Another blinked green dot, and between them, a trail. A broken trail. Eli narrowed his eyes. A path and a distress signal. But where does it lead? Before he could study more, the child woke with a small gasp, his eyes wide. Not from fear, but from memory. He pointed to the green star in the projection, then to himself. Then to the red one. Your mother? Eli guessed. The child nodded. So the green star was where he is now. And the red was where she might be. But the line between them was broken. Something was jamming the signal. We'll fix that, Eli said. We'll find her. Later, when the child ate warm food from a ration pack, he picked up a small stick and began to draw in the dirt. The drawing showed three things. A ship, a huge dark shape, and a smaller figure. The child, falling from the sky then. Something strange. A mark. Like a symbol burned into the ship. Eli's face tightened. He had seen that mark before. During an old salvage mission. It wasn't alien. It was human. Suddenly. The cave lights blinked. Ping. The signal was back. Stronger now. The pendant glowed again. But this time, something else answered. Eli checked his scanner. A second signal. Far away but real. Faint, but not random. Another life form, he muttered. Same genetic reading as the boy. It had to be her. The mother was alive. But they weren't the only ones listening. Far across the snowy plain. Inside the black enemy ship, red lights flashed. The hunter's command deck came to life. A shadowy figure stood tall, covered in armor and wires. It looked down at a screen. Two signals. One prize. The hunt accelerated. Back in the cave. Eli packed quickly. He strapped the boy into the sled. We're going south, he said. Toward the mountains. That signal is coming from there. The boy nodded. Quiet but ready. Eli checked his blaster. Check the sled's fuel. Then he looked at the boy. We find her, he said, no matter what. As they sped across the icy land, the snow began to clear. Blue sky peeked through the clouds for the first time. And far ahead, the mountains rose like giants of glass and ice. The signal grew stronger with every mile. But with it, so did the danger. At night, they stopped in a ruined station buried in snow. A human research outpost from years ago, now dead and frozen. Inside, Eli found old files and one broken message, half burned into a screen. Experiment failed. Specimen escaped. DNA unstable. He stopped reading. The child looked up at him, confused. Eli shook his head. You're not an experiment, he said softly. You're a child. That's all that matters. But in his heart, he knew this child was part of something bigger. Something someone wanted to hide. Or destroy. Suddenly, the station trembled. Footsteps got heavy. Not from the wind. Eli grabbed the child and ran to the back, hiding behind old crates. Through the cracked window, they saw a tall shape enter the ruins, red eyes scanning. The enemy had caught up. Eli held his breath. The child reached for his hand, and together, they waited in the shadows. Asterisk darkness moved inside the walls. The old station was silent again. But not empty. Somewhere between broken wires and frozen walls, something was hunting. Eli held the alien child close behind him, hidden in the corner of a storage room. Dust floated in the air. The only sound was the slow drip of melted ice. The child's breathing was fast. Quiet, but scared. Eli could feel the tension in his own chest. Not fear, not yet, but close. Don't move, he whispered. The child nodded. Footsteps echoed nearby. Slow, heavy, metal on metal. Something was walking down the hallway. Outside. Not just walking. sniffing. The hunter wasn't human. It had no face, only sensors and tubes. Long arms dragged behind it like metal ropes. It stopped near the door. It knew. Inside the room, Eli raised his blaster slowly. His hand was steady, but his heart was loud. The door opened, just a crack. Silence, then crash. Eli rolled forward and fired. A flash of light hit the hunter in the chest. But it didn't fall. It roared. A deep, inhuman sound. And charged. Eli grabbed the child and ran through the side exit, kicking open a frozen panel. They slid down an icy pipe into a dark, lower tunnel. They landed hard. It was colder down here. Darker. Eli got up, holding the child's hand. "We're okay," he said. "We're okay." But even he wasn't sure. Above them, the hunter screamed. Again. It wouldn't give up. Not tonight. The tunnel led into an old power room. Machines hummed faintly. Backup energy still alive after all these years. In the center was a console. Broken, but still blinking. The child looked at it. His hand lit up, glowing slightly, and when he touched the console, it sparked. The screen came alive. Eli watched in shock. Images appeared. Files, maps, video logs. And one file marked specimen, a 47, status, missing. The screen showed a picture. It was the child. Eli's face went pale. "They knew you? They made records of you." More files showed up. Tests, medical scans, human scientists. A voice recording began to play. Subject shows rapid adaptation, strong energy output. Genetic mix is not purely alien. Project Black Seed? Maybe a success. If the mother survives the extraction. Eli stopped the audio. He looked at the child. Small, scared, glowing softly in the dark. "They used you," he said. "And your mother?" The child didn't understand the words. But he saw Eli's face. He walked forward and, for the first time, hugged Eli. A small, shaking hug. Eli didn't move. Then slowly, he hugged back. Above them, the hunter smashed through the upper floor. Time was up. Eli picked up the child, opened a maintenance door, and ran. The halls bent like a maze. The sound of the hunter echoed behind them, getting closer. Smarter. Faster. Suddenly, a dead end. A locked blast door. Eli punched the panel. Come on. The child stepped forward again, touched the panel. It opened. The child's energy unlocked it. "You're the key," Eli whispered. They ran through, and behind them the door slammed shut. The hunter hit it hard. Metal shook, but they were safe. For now. The new hallway opened into a massive cave. Inside it was an old alien ship. Not human. Not damaged. Intact. The child gasped. He ran forward, touching the silver surface. The ship lit up. Soft lights ran across it like it knew him. Eli followed, stunned. "Is this your ship?" The child nodded, slowly, then pointed up. To a pod near the roof of the cave. Inside was a figure. Frozen in stas. It was her. The mother. Eli climbed up carefully. He looked inside. Her skin was blue, like the child's, but older. Her body was curled, eyes closed. Still alive, but weak. Frozen in time. The pod was damaged. Systems flickering. Eli began repairs with what tools he had. The child stood below, looking up, eyes full of hope. Behind them, the door cracked. The hunter had found another way, and it entered the cave. It's red. Eyes locked onto the child. It charged. Eli saw it just in time. "Run." He opened the back hatch of the alien ship, pushed the child inside. The ship reacted to the boy. Shields lit up. Eli stood at the entrance with his blaster. Alone. The hunter came fast. We fought. Eli took hits, but stayed on his feet. He bought time. Inside the ship, the child crawled up to the pod, placed his hand on the glass. The pod lit up. The mother's eyes opened. For a moment, time froze, not because of fear, not because of danger, but because a mother was opening her eyes. Her stasis pod had been silent for days, maybe weeks. maybe more. But now, soft blue light ran through its glass. The alien child's hand pressed gently on the frozen surface. His eyes were wide, wet, full of silent hope. Inside, her fingers moved, her heart remembered, and her eyes, glowing like stars, slowly opened. The child whispered her name in a voice so small, it was almost lost in the hum of the ship. Mira. Eli watched from behind, blood on his cheek, blaster shaking in his hand. He had just fought off the hunter, wounded it, but not killed it, thought it would return. But for now, this moment was not his dot, it belonged to them. The pod. Door hissed and opened. A rush of cold air filled the ship's chamber. The alien woman fell forward, weak but breathing. Her child caught her dot tiny arms. Shaking arms, but she didn't fall. She collapsed into him, holding him like she had waited her whole life for this one moment. Dot no words, just breath, just life. Eli turned away, giving them space. Dot his mind raced. The child had survived storms, hunts, and secrets. But it was this touch that made him whole again. He thought he had seen everything space could offer. He was wrong. The mother slowly looked up at Eli, her eyes sharp, ancient, glowing. She stood, weak, yes, but full of power. Dot her voice was low, musical, strange. Dot she spoke in her language, and the ship responded. Lights turned on. Systems reconnected. Dot Eli raised both hands, showing peace. I am not your enemy. She stared at him for a long time. She nodded. Dot a silent thank you. The child ran to Eli and took his hand, then took his mother's. He placed both hands together. A family, a bond, a new trust. But trust doesn't stop war, and war was coming. Suddenly, the ground shook. Dot outside. The cave entrance exploded. The hunter had returned, and it was not alone. This time. Dot two more figures stepped from the dust, bigger, covered in black armor. The enemy had brought back up. Dot Eli grabbed his blaster. The mother stepped forward, her hand glowing. Her body stood tall now, still tired, but full of fire. She turned to the ship's console and placed her hand on it. The ship woke up, its walls lit with symbols. Defense systems came online. Shields glowed. Dot the child sat in the center seat, like he had done it before. He looked at his mother. She gave a small nod. Dot then turned to Eli. Dot she reached out, touched his forehead. Dot and something strange happened. Images filled Eli's mind, not words. Dot pictures. Dot her memory. He saw a research lab, cold and bright. Human scientists. Her child, taken from her arms. Escape. Fire. Hiding him? Being hunted. And a single wish. Let him live. Let him be free. Eli staggered back, breath heavy. They did this to you. My people did this? The mother nodded. Dot, but she held no hate in her eyes. Only purpose. Eli stepped forward. Then let's finish it together. Outside, the hunters broke through the outer shield. Inside, the mother stood tall, raising both hands. Energy pulsed from her fingers. She was no normal alien. She was a weapon made by survival, shaped by pain, powered by love. She didn't run. She fought. The first hunter charged in. She threw a pulse of energy, not fire, not lightning, but light. Pure force. The hunter flew back, armor cracking. The child placed both hands on the ship's control. Ring. The ship glowed brighter. He's connected, Eli said. He's part of this ship. The mother nodded again. He was born for it, Eli whispered. But he still needs his mother. Outside, the hunters regrouped. A full attack was coming. Inside, the mother stood next to her son. Eli beside them. 3 souls. 3 worlds. One moment left before the storm. Asterisk snowflakes fell in slow motion, not from the sky, but from the ceiling of the ancient cave. As vibrations cracked the ice above, each flake danced through the air like it didn't know war was coming. The boy stood still beneath them, watching the frozen pieces land on his glowing hands. He didn't speak. He didn't blink. He was listening to the ship, to the ice, to something deep inside himself. His mother stood nearby, her hand on his shoulder. Strong now, awake. Her long blue fingers moved slowly, touching the air as if reading it. She could feel them coming. The hunters. Eli tightened the strap on his rifle. His leg was bleeding, but he didn't stop. He checked the outer camera one last time. "They're here," he said. 3 black armored hunters stood outside the cave. They didn't move like soldiers. They moved like predators. They had come. For one thing, the child, inside the ship, lights pulsed around the boy. He placed his hand on the control ring again. This time, the ship did something different. A voice spoke from the wall, not in English, not in any known language, but somehow Eli understood it. Pilot recognized. Core awakening. The cave began to tremble. Ice cracked. Light rose from the ground in veins of white and blue. Eli looked at the mother. "What's happening to him?" She didn't answer with words. She simply looked at her son with pride and sorrow. The truth was finally waking up. The boy was not just her son. He was not just a child. He was a seed, a living bridge between 2 worlds, part alien, part human, built in a lab. Born from love, and now chosen by something ancient, the core intelligence of a starship species. He wasn't meant to run. He was meant to choose. Outside. The hunters raised their weapons. Inside. The boy opened his eyes. They glowed. Bright white, not blue. The cave exploded into movement. 1 hunter charged first. Blades out. The mother stepped forward, releasing a shock wave of energy. The ice shattered. The hunter flew back, but not dead. The second came in from the left. Fast, brutal. Eli fired. 3 shots. Center mass. Armor cracked, but it kept moving. Eli dropped low and rolled. He fired again, this time into a breathing vent. Hit. The creature fell. The third hunter, larger than the others, moved past them all, straight for the child. But the boy didn't move. He looked up at the creature. No fear, only stillness. Ship responded to his heart rate. Lights burned brighter. Panels opened. Energy flowed into the cave walls. The boy raised both hands. The ship obeyed. A beam of white light shot from the floor, catching the final hunter mid-dash step. It froze, screamed, and fell, armor melting like wax in fire. Silence. 3 hunters. Down, but the ground kept shaking. The ship was no longer just waking up. It was activating. Eli ran to the mother and child. What's happening now? The mother looked up at the ceiling. Her voice came in a whisper. The ship knows the truth. The world that made him wants to end him, but now he must end them, or be hunted forever. Eli didn't answer. He simply looked at the boy, no longer just a child, no longer afraid. What do you want to do, kid? Eli asked. The boy stepped toward the ship's main console. He touched a final panel. A large star map opened in the air. It showed Earth. And another unknown system. 2 lights blinked. 2 paths. The boy turned to Eli. He raised one hand. Slowly. Opened. An invitation. Eli looked at the hand. You want me to come? The boy nodded. Eli glanced back at the snowy cave one last time. This planet had taken everything. Silence, blood, secrets. But it had given something back. A family. The boy's voice spoke. Quiet. Soft, but real. 1 word. Home. The cave was quiet again. No more footsteps. No more hunters. No more fear. Only falling snow through the broken ceiling. Slow, gentle. And in the center of it all, the alien child stood, looking at the sky. His mother stood beside him, her hand resting softly on his shoulder. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. The storm had passed, but a choice still waited. Eli leaned against the wall, holding his injured side. He had fought, bled, and risked his life for people he didn't know, for a child not his own. And now, he didn't want to say goodbye, but he knew. He had always known. The ship's light pulsed softly, like a heartbeat. It was ready. Inside it, 2 seats had opened. 1 for the mother, 1 for the boy. The ship wasn't just alive. It had accepted them. Their DNA, it would carry them home, or to wherever they chose to start again. The child walked slowly to Eli. He didn't speak. He simply opened his hand and gave Eli the crystal pendant, the same one he had worn when they met, the same one that had shown his mother's face. Now, it held something else. A message. Eli touched it. A soft glow. And then the boy's voice. Thank you, friend. Eli looked down, trying not to show emotion, but it was there, behind his eyes, in the way he breathed. You don't owe me anything, he said, but if you ever come back, bring a jacket. The boy smiled, a real smile. His first. Then he ran to his mother. They entered the ship. The engines started to hum, soft at first, then louder. The ice cracked beneath the ship. Light rose from its core. Not fire, not noise, but calm, warm energy. The ship lifted slowly. Pushing away the snow. Eli stepped back, shielding his eyes. And then it was gone into the clouds. Into the stars. Silence again. Eli stood alone in the cave, the pendant still glowing in his hand, but he didn't feel alone. He looked up at the sky. Safe travels, kid. Then he turned and limped out of the cave, step by step. Eartha, military outpost. Cold walls. Bright lights. Eli sat in a room with two officers across the table. They asked questions. Where had he been? What did he find? Why was there no wreckage? He gave them no names, no coordinates. Only one answer. I found something worth protecting. They didn't understand, but they couldn't argue. Outside the base, Eli walked toward his old ship. He opened the hatch, sat in the pilot's seat. He was about to leave when the pendant blinked. A new message. It projected a soft blue hologram. In the air, the child's face appeared. Older now, taller, wearing a small symbol on his chest. Behind him stood his mother, and other beings like them. Peaceful, calm, alive. The boy raised his hand and spoke. We found a place. No hunters, no fear. Just sky and water and light. We named it Hope. He paused. Then smiled. We left a door open, if you ever need a home. The message ended. Eli leaned back. He didn't smile, but his eyes said, enough. He turned the ship's engine on and flew into the stars.